Rochdale 13 with Alan Kilshaw. First off, congratulations, League One champions at weekend with a win over in Toulouse. Obviously pretty emotional after the game. Now you've had a chance to go back and look at it. How does it look second time around?
Yeah, I've probably watched it 2 or 3 times. I tried to start the game yesterday, which I do on a Monday, and review it, and it probably took me 4 or 5 hours just rewinding and just looking at those little efforts, and this, it was a really good performance. Just little things in the game, little efforts. When they went 16-0 up, Ben Moore's chased back and they had to kick off the touchline and they missed the goal, and we win by 2, and just little things like that. Crookie nailing a couple off the touchline, and all those little things that contribute. Our goal line defence was outstanding, and even though they went up to 16-0, which we were conscious that they might start and try and blow us away, but we knew we had to stick in there and not let it get too far. And I think Jack's try at 16-0 was a good try, and we did score some really good tries and execute some good stuff, and it's probably as close to 80 minutes performance we put in all year. And on the game as a whole, just thought we just worked so hard, and it was a massive effort. And we lost Dave Cookson early, which probably hasn't been mentioned, but it's we were down to 16 men, and we were down a rotation, so some of those big forwards did longer spells, and we hadn't anticipated Jono playing the length of time that he did. Obviously he had 10 minutes off when he got sin-binned and he come off at the end, but he'd had a bad knee all week, and Ben had sore ribs, and there was players carrying injuries, and I've been for a few weeks, so very pleasing. And we asked for 17 heroes, and we got that. And
you've probably just touched on it then, but sort of when you look back all the way to November, when you first sat down with this group of lads and your coaching staff, and then all the stuff that you've had to deal with in between, all the phone calls, emails, late nights, cold training sessions, whatever it is it all worth it just for a day like Saturday?
Yeah, of course it is. Ultimately you'll have a goal at the start of the season, and we've done that. We're champions. We've won the division we're in, and it's not just the 17 players that played on the weekend, and everyone's contributed. It's been squad. Wayne English, Corey Lee, James Dandy, Alex Trumper. Jake Shields. Obviously Casey didn't play. And your Stu Biskins, Alex McClurgs, people who had to lead the squad. They all played league games, and factoring some of them young boys from Warrington, they played in important victories. Joe Philbin's probably played the most out of them all, and then obviously the staff have been outstanding, and it has been a full group effort, and I felt the club's come together this year. Which typified on Friday night when we had a team meeting, and Mark Wynne, the chairman, got quite emotional about what it would mean for us to win, and the lads responded really well to that, and it just gave us that extra motivation, and it means a lot of things to a lot of people. It's a club with a lot of history, and like I say, it's been a full group effort, and we've been very fortunate this year, and we've been, if you look at a couple of the wins that got us to second, we always say, you got to get there, and then anything can happen on the day. And a win at Barrow in the league, on a really wet day, we went to London and won, and just little victories like that get you there. And that's, like I say, players have played the part, and not just the 17 boys who took the field on the weekend, and you need that in a season. You need that to be champions, and it's been a great squad effort, and it's been a massive achievement, like you say.
And after the game, Sylvan Hughes, the Toulouse coach, was quite critical of our lads sort of staying down. He thought time wasting, bits of stuff like that, gamesmanship probably coming to his head. What's your thoughts on that?
Mate, the grapes in Toulouse are tasting very sour at this time of year. But if lads get spear tackled, get their noses broke, get jumped on, get punched, I think they're going to stay down injured. Not one of my boys stayed down injured and feigned injury on the weekend. We wanted to keep the clock ticking, we wanted to keep the ball in play, because we know when you put that team under pressure, they crack. And we've done that this season and took points off them, and we've done that to them in their own backyard and won. However he wants to spin it, he can spin it, but they were outplayed on the day, and I think if you're looking at your team and how you set your team up, and there were some, we spoke about a few things when we played at Scotland, and there were some unsavoury incidents again on the weekend, especially when we started winning, and it's all hunky-dory when you're putting 70 points on Coventry because half the team can't travel through work. But when it was tough and when it came down to it, they lost the discipline, and like I say, one of our players broke his nose. Could have been some real serious implications of those lifting tackles, and it's a concern that I've raised earlier on in the year, and a couple of players did get banned, and it's probably not reared its head since we played them and since Lee played them, and that's probably due to the fact that they haven't probably been challenged since then. Hunslet gave them a good game, and I think Newcastle did, but when they were under pressure, they lost the discipline, and I think he's, as coach of the year, he probably should be focusing more on his own team and getting them right for York than criticising my team for rightly staying down when they were injured.
Yeah, and just on to next season in the Championship. Have you got a lot of prep to do now?
Mate, we're more or less done. We'd already agreed terms with a lot of Championship standard players, and the travesty probably would have been if we hadn't gone up next year with the players that were going to come in, and some are young and want that opportunity, and some are experienced Championship players. Training's sorted, and we've got a partnership with Hotwood Hall, and we'll announce the full details of that. That's to come out soon, and there's a lot of exciting announcements in the next few weeks in terms of recruitment, retention, training. We've still got another year with Warrington, training up there as well, partnership. So we've done a lot of prep already, but my phone's been non-stop with agents and players, and Rochdale Hornets, even before Saturday, was a very attractive proposition for players and agents, but even more now, so we're in the Championship. So there's a little bit to do before we clock off for this season, if you like, and have a bit of a break, but we're 90% of the way there, and like I say, just watch this space, because we've got some big announcements coming in. We feel the players we're going to retain and the players we're bringing in will be very competitive next season, and it's probably not sunk in now for a lot of people, but when we get them fixtures in November or December, when it'll be, and when we go to the season launch for the Championship, and we're rubbing shoulders with Bradford, London, your Batleys, Oldham's going to be fantastic. It's a great rivalry. Whoever comes down, whether it's Salford, OKR or Huddersfield, if it was Salford or Huddersfield, you can say that they're going to be derbies because they're close. So yeah, it's exciting times for the club, and I think we're back where we do belong.
Cheers, Alan. Congratulations.